truck, SUV that you want to sell. It could be an old junker. It could be a car you just bought. It could be a car somebody gave you. It doesn't matter. At Paramount Kia in Asheville, we want to buy your car. Give us a call, make an appointment, or simply stop by. It's fast, simple, and easy, and we'll make sure that you leave with the most money possible. Asheville Valley Mall, ParamountKiaAsheville.com.
The PhD Weight Loss Program, helping Jeremy and I get healthier in 24 weeks. I have lost over 66 pounds. I feel like a completely different person, and to some people, I look like a completely different person. I'm getting confused by people who have known me for decades with other people that they know.
I've never been crazy heavy. I've always just been a little doughy. And now, thanks to the program at PhD, I've fixed that. I fixed another of my great problems, which is I was really lazy with my food choices, which always kept me about 20 pounds heavier than I should be. And I couldn't sleep. Well, now I'm sleeping better than ever, and it's thanks to the program, food, and dietary program at PhD Weight Loss.
The dietary program is a lifesaver because it is very convenient. It makes a healthy diet as convenient as stopping by any fast food place. Go to myphdweightloss.com today if you need to lose pounds and make a change in your life, because they are the official weight loss program of the Clemson Tigers and their fans.
You don't get to be the league's all-time leading rusher without feeling some pain.
Pro football legend Emmitt Smith knows joint pain, and he also knows the old treatments aren't the only treatments. Today, there's a natural alternative to drugs and surgery. It's biologic therapies from QC Kinetics.
I'm talking regenerative solutions that encourage your body to heal and repair itself.
Do you have pain in your hips, knees, shoulder, lower back? Want to get your life back? The local medical professionals at QC Kinetics can help.
Call to learn more about this exciting natural way to deal with chronic joint pain.
Don't put it off. Call QC Kinetics. Restorative, regenerative solutions with no downtime and lasting results.
Don't let your joint pain keep you from doing the things you love. There's a new natural solution that patients are raving about.
QC Kinetics.
Make the call to QC Kinetics. Tell them Emmitt Smith sent you.
Call QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. QC Kinetics. 333-9517.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. While maintaining he is innocent of allegations of inappropriate sexual conduct made against him, the Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson said today he has no regrets about any of his actions, added he does regret the impact the accusations have had on the people around him. Watson's facing the allegations in 24 civil lawsuits filed against him. The Celtics, with their backs against the wall as they get ready to host the Warriors in Game 6 of the NBA Finals on Thursday. Boston down 3-2, facing a must-win. One key for a Celtics victory is taking care of the ball better. They had 18 turnovers last night. Boston also needs a strong start, advises ESPN senior NBA writer Andre Snellings.
They need to control the narrative, control the pace, control the action in the first half. I fully expect the Warriors to make their push in the third quarter and make it competitive. But then the Celtics, building off of that early momentum, would need to then carry it through and win a Game 6.
Andre Snelling's on Greene. Braves second baseman Ozzie Albies on the 60-day injured list with a fractured foot. He was injured on an awkward swing last night.
How would you love a chance to save some money on car insurance? Geico can help. Switch today and see all the ways you could save with great rates and discounts. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com to get a rate quote and get started seeing how much you could save.
In the heart of Beer City, USA, two men, one journey to create a sports show unlike any other. Unfiltered, raw, and honest. One of them played a soccer goalie opposite Ben Stiller. The other once scored 6 points on Steph Curry. These guys know their shit. Let's go! Tank Spencer, Jeremy Greene, the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy, always heard everywhere on the iHeart Radio app. Take us with you everywhere you go, live or on demand. And you can always join us in the chat on the YouTube stream. Just go to thesportsocracy.com. Click on that live video link. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. That gets you into the chat. You can also join the House of Reprehensibles. We always have a good time with our faithful friends.
And we have a slew of questions for you today.
For me?
No, for the lovely listeners. If I had questions for you, I would ask them before the show.
Say, what are y'all asking me? Like,
what is the ultimate fantasy football punishment? We've talked about this before, but never really got in depth to it. Usually, it's outside stories.
I don't feel like it ever goes.
Which is exactly how this one came about.
Yeah, I don't ever feel like it goes much beyond tattoos.
We've already said
tattoos are the worst.
We've already said we're doing the tattoo league this year. That's happening, and I'm gonna win it. And whoever loses it, I'm not sorry. I'm gonna laugh a lot at the tattoo I've already earmarked in my head.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I will not be participating in that one.
And that's fine.
Not that
there
I'm
will be
afraid
11
of tattoos.
that will.
I'm afraid of allowing you to have creative control over any tattoo.
It's a horrible idea. It's also like looking at me at a bar and going, I'm drinking with you tonight. Well, you may not make it through this live.
Right.
So good for you.
Right. We got the NBA Finals, Game 5 in the books. 3-2 lead for the Golden State Warriors. We'll break down Game 5 coming up in just a few moments. Apparently, Sean Payton was offered a massive contract to be the head coach of the Miami Dolphins, and he turned it down. We'll talk about, was that a good choice? Was that a bad choice? The Miami Dolphins absolutely crazy for wanting to pay him what is being reported that they were going to pay him, which is like 167% of what any other head coach makes.
It's a mess.
It is
a whole mess.
We did overrated players in the NFL yesterday, so in the 4 o'clock hour, we will do underrated players in the NFL. And I think Jeremy and I have found about a dozen just a bit outside stories.
I mean, we may just spend the second hour making jokes.
Right.
This has been the weirdest sports day for a day that's just complete death. Because you got the NBA Finals, and we'll talk about that in just a second. There have been a slew of wait, what? You can't run that by me one more time? Stories that have come out of this day.
So all of that coming your way over the next 2 hours here on ESPN Asheville. Programming note, just want to throw this out there again. Reminder, we will not be here on Friday or Monday. We got Braves baseball on Friday in the afternoon. I think they're playing the Washington Nationals at like 2 o'clock on Friday afternoon, and then Monday is a federal holiday, so we will not be here for that either. So 4-day weekend coming up for the Sportsocracy crew. Looking forward to that. But we will enjoy the next couple of days here with you on ESPN Asheville. NBA Finals, Game 5 last night, 104-94. The Warriors beat the Celtics in the Chase Center to take a 3-2 series lead. Steph Curry is the storyline today.
Yeah, he had as many threes last night as I did.
He was 0 of 9 from long range last night.
If you had told me that every Warrior starter not named Klay Thompson would be a combined 0 of 19 from 3, my response would have been, okay, so Boston won by what, 30?
30, you're right.
Not quite how it happened.
Not quite how it happened. 18 turnovers last night for the Boston Celtics, which is never a good idea. It's hard to win games when you turn the ball over that much. Boston they can't get out of their own way.
There's one X factor that we have not taken into account nearly enough.
Andrew
and I'm
Wiggins.
going to be honest with you, he's the MVP of this series.
Andrew Wiggins.
It's Andrew Wiggins.
I knew you were going to say
Andrew
that.
Wiggins. He's the MVP of this series. They are going to win this series, and I would say 2 of their wins are almost explicitly because of him. He will get no love in Game 4 because Steph was so good. He changed the entire narrative of that game because he does give you something as a rebounder that very few forwards like that do.
Yeah.
And my largest takeaway is I want you to remember this. When you slam people like me for, well, player blank was a bust, Andrew Wiggins, I could argue, was the biggest bust of my lifetime.
Other than Anthony Bennett.
Anthony Bennett didn't have the expectations. Andrew Wiggins was supposed to be like LeBron light, and he wasn't. Well, there's a reason for that. Because he played for dumpster fire franchises. Then he winds up in Golden State, and if he's not on this team, they don't win this series. Period.
Agreed.
There are only two players I can say that about. Klay Thompson, over 50% of the series, he could have gone home. He could have subbed himself out for a guy that looks strangely like him that we'll tell you about later in the show.
Right.
None of it would have mattered. Yeah, he had a good game last night, was good from three. Mm-hmm. That's the first time I've looked at Klay Thompson and said, you actually provided something above what a replacement level NBA player would provide.
Right.
Andrew Wiggins has been good pretty much pillar to post. He's been playing that Andre Iguodala role from days gone by. Mm-hmm. I can D you up if I need to, provide a little bit of a scoring punch, good rebounder. If it's not for him, I don't think they win last night.
I mean, you have to agree with that. I don't think there's anyone. What do you love to say? Anybody with a high IQ above salad dressing that believes that Andrew Wiggins was not the X factor for the win in Game 5. I mean, he had 23 and 16 or 26 and 13, or I think it's 26 and 13 last night.
Wiggins, yes, 26-13.
Yeah, 26 points. 20 of those were scored inside the paint. He obviously didn't have any three-pointers, but you don't really need it when you're outscoring Boston like that, taking them to the rack. He has played amazing defense. I mean, he's held Jason Tatum to 37.7% from the floor for this entire series.
And we've really hammered Tatum for that and not given Andrew Wiggins his flowers.
I would agree.
And I'll say straight up, that's been an error on my part.
But I think but I think the talk about him being MVP is ridiculous.
I don't.
I really do.
I don't. And I'm telling you right now, you watch. Because I do firmly believe this is going 7.
Okay.
I think we are going to have a Game 7 because I'm going to venture a guess and say that Boston is going to be a little animated for Game 6.
Probably.
And I have a story about the city of Boston for later in this here show that'll just tell you exactly how animated they can get.
I also, I also feel like the series is over, though.
I don't.
I do.
I don't in any way.
I feel like it's over. I mean, look, Steph Curry had hit, 233 consecutive games he had hit at least a three-pointer in, which has got to be some kind of a record. He had a streak of 33 straight postseason games where he had hit multiple threes on a night after having the performance that he had in Game 5. Now, the first 4 games of the series, all Steph. I give him all the credit for that, which
you shouldn't give him all the credit.
Well, you know what I mean. I give him the majority of the credit for being able to put. I mean, you said it. Andrew Wiggins didn't get enough credit for his performance in Game 4. Well, no, because Steph Curry put 43 up.
And I'll be honest with you, without Andrew Wiggins, that 43 didn't mean anything. Because they would have lost that game too.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have somebody that can do this, the way this team is currently constructed, that's a problem. And we've just completely overlooked him. Again, I'll say that's been an error on my part of I did not realize until last night just how impactful he had been.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you said you think this series is over, and I think that is insane.
I think it is because I think I don't think Steph's going to have bad games back to back, and
I don't think he has to have a bad game. That's and to me that's short-sighted.
Okay,
Steph can be out of his mind and they still lose. I've seen him do it.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I've seen him do it twice.
Mm-hmm.
It falls on Wiggins. It falls on these ancillary pieces. Jordan Poole, he couldn't play dead in a Western the first 4 games of the series. He had a role last night.
Mm-hmm.
And those are the players that scare me on the road, and those are the players that scare me in a Game 7. Which is why, if I were a wagering gent, which if you listen to this program, you know, well, I am.
Right.
I think I'm putting my money on Wiggins to win MVP.
Yeah.
Now, you got to remember, the MVP in the NBA, this is not Super Bowl MVP.
Oh, I know.
It is not the same. The narrative means next to nothing. I've already watched them give one of these to Andre Iguodala.
Yeah.
In a series that there was absolutely no explanation for it.
Look, Andrew Wiggins is 2. Andrew Wiggins is 2 on the list. But it's Steph Curry that is going to get the MVP. Golden State closes this thing out. Say they close it out in Boston, or hell, if they close it out in Game 7. I just don't feel like the media is going to take another one away. As much talk as there has been about Steph Curry needs to win the Finals MVP because he's never done it before, I can't see them doing it to him again. Because Andre Iguodala stole the one that he should have gotten.
I would agree with that. And I would agree with that. But to me, I don't think it's Steph that's going to be what wins them the series.
Okay.
I have a funny feeling Game 6 is going to be heavily Bostonian. I think you're going to see everything they have. Mm-hmm. It's at home. Shots fall better at home. Role players play better at home. Kind of like you saw last night.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to go to Game 7. What is the path for Golden State to win a Game 7? For you to win in a Game 7, somebody has to be better than they are.
Mm-hmm.
Who is that guy?
Probably
it's Andrew Wiggins.
Yeah.
I don't think Klay Thompson has it in him. Last night's the first time Klay Thompson didn't look like the old guy at the YMCA that wears too many wristbands.
Right.
Sweatbands, whatever you want to call them. And if they're going to win one of these make-or-break super series where everybody's eyes are on it, because that's the way this will go, the number of a Game 7 in this will be double any other number you've seen in the entire series.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way the NBA works. It's the reason that they struggle with perception from time to time. Sponsors look at that and go, can we just sponsor Game 7s?
Right.
Those seem to do really well.
Well, of course they do. I've talked about this before. It's all about the sense of urgency. We're all going to watch the last game.
And I just think you're going to see tighter and, yeah, Golden State was an impressive win. Come out with a 10-0 run to start the fourth. Never really close again. Yep. Never really in doubt again.
Yep.
The pressure will be amped up a little bit in a Game 7, make or break.
I'm starting to feel about Boston the same way you felt about Brooklyn in the first series.
It should be for a completely different reason, though.
For some reason, that conversation that we had sticks out in my mind of when you were talking about it. If the game's close, I don't give them any chance to win. And I almost feel that way about Boston now in this series. I'm not saying playoffs as a whole or the season or whatever. I just feel like unless they have that 15-point lead in the fourth quarter at some point, they're going to find a way to lose.
Well, I mean, they do struggle in close games. I get the comparison. The difference to me, they're good defensively.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at the end of the day, you're holding Golden State to right around 100 points a night. That's A1 since day one.
Yes, sir, it is.
The problem is they don't have enough offense. And that's the other part of Wiggins to me. All right, let's just, in theory, you could move any two players. If I'm Boston and I say I get Andrew Wiggins, is there anybody for Boston that even touches him that's not Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown? Even touches him. Even makes you feel vaguely better about what you just did.
I would say smart.
You're insane. He is worthless offensively.
Okay.
He's a great defender. He is completely worthless offensively. If he could do even a modicum offensively of what Wiggins could do defensively, I would agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
He can't. And that's one of the problems they have, is that the offense has been, we have to get Steph on somebody. They did it last night. Smart brings the ball up, high ball screen, now Steph's on Tatum.
Yep.
Well, the problem is Tatum can't shoot. And this was one of the reasons I was so late to the party on Boston. They go through extended periods of time where they're just brutally bad offensively.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants to go to the rack. They don't have anybody that they can count on. I need a basket. Who's going to go get it? They don't have that guy.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have that guy.
Especially not in this series. I mean, they have in previous series. We talked a lot about how, Al Horford had a couple of big games throughout the playoffs. Where's he been in the NBA Finals?
Yeah, what happened to that?
Right.
Last night, 9-9. Good for you. 33 minutes.
Yeah. Where the hell has he been? They just haven't had that guy stand up. And
I'm
Jason
just a
Tatum
big
has
fan.
Been basically taken out of his game by Andrew Wiggins.
I am a big fan of knowing unequivocally, this series will be over Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
We come back on Tuesday, no more NBA. Full steam ahead on the NFL. We have our first super chat of the day from my namesake brethren. Colin Greene said, Boston's energy left faster than my first girlfriend last night. Also, are you guys going to bring back the Sunday fun days when Jeremy used to get a little drunky pants? Yeah, I believe we will be doing that.
Yeah, probably so.
Yeah, I believe we'll be doing that. I know we'll be doing a fantasy show, and we'll be announcing a lot of these things after our little 4-day staycation here.
Mm-hmm.
With it just being two of us, we don't get many opportunities where we get a Friday and a Monday. So we'll be, I hate to steal Mike Greenberg's line here, but we'll be back and better than ever on Tuesday with a lot of new things.
Yes.
Some things are going to look different. Some things are going to sound different.
Yeah, I don't anticipate many changes on the Sunday schedule.
Oh, it's
because God, I mean, I'll be honest with you, I live for it.
Well, there might be a couple changes. Like,
well,
I don't know, maybe a venue change.
Okay.
Might be an addition of maybe another day of the weekend.
Well, there we go.
For a different kind of football.
There you go.
You know, they don't give anything away.
Right.
No spoilers.
I'm saying what you're used to.
The
coverage that you're used to on the NFL when it comes to us, I don't see that changing. That's just me. You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. Your A1 Central for football coverage, which we'll be talking football coming up just shortly.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Another very hot and humid day for us on Wednesday. Chance for a few showers and storms here tonight. Otherwise, partly cloudy skies near 70. Mix of clouds and sunshine Wednesday. Very hot and humid with a chance of after.
of our 6,000 stores or on AutoZone.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Loyalty restrictions apply.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
The Sportsocracy.
Ice up, son. Ice up.
And welcome back into the Ingles Studio. Sportsocracy always brought to you by Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings, and so we were talking about the NBA. And Game 5 of the NBA Finals was last night. There's other NBA news, though, that we haven't touched on. First off, from the weekend, Kenny Atkinson, they made the right choice.
They
the Charlotte
did make
Hornets
the right choice.
actually made the right choice. We don't have Mike D'Antoni as the new head coach. It's Kenny Atkinson.
Hallelujah. And that's totally the right call. Very good player development coach. Mm-hmm. That was the right call.
Yes.
That was, as a matter of fact, when they fired Borrego, my first comment was there should be no other call here than Kenny Atkinson.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're a Hornets fan, you should be very happy about that.
Very, very happy about that. One thing you should not be happy about is apparently the summer festivities of Montrezl Harrell.
He did crimes.
Why? Why do you do this? Montrezl Harrell facing a felony drug charge in Kentucky after police said they found 3 pounds of marijuana in his car during a traffic stop. Dude, do you even cannabis?
What? But you buried the lead there. He told them, I got a little bit of the marijuana's on me.
Uh-huh.
And then they searched his Honda Pilot and they found 3 pounds of the devil's lettuce, which immediately made me ask one question. Why in the world are you driving a Honda Pilot if you're an NBA player?
What is a Honda Pilot?
It's the big SUV thing.
Oh, okay. I don't know. What should he be driving?
Oh,
an Escalade or?
I got plenty of solutions.
So you're not so much concerned about the car; it's the make or the type of car. It's the make of the car.
No, it's
like you should be driving a Range Rover or a Mercedes.
I could give you a slew of cars that would make a lot more sense. Just not a Honda Pilot.
Just not a Honda
It's very,
Pilot.
I mean, yeah, it's, as Stephen Town, our comment said, it's very economical.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know if economical is necessarily the word that I would attribute to somebody that's driving around with 3 pounds of weed in the car.
The officer said they observed the odor of marijuana coming from the car, and that's when Harrell admitted to being in possession of marijuana and produced a small amount from his sweatpants. Like, see, this is all the weed I have.
All I got. Don't look in the back.
They were like, I'm going to say this smells stronger than that little nugget that you have in your pocket. And they found vacuum-sealed bags of marijuana in his car. Just don't. Like, how many times does this have to happen? Like, first off, you're an NBA player. Do you not have a guy for this?
Well, I mean, that would be my question is this your side hustle? Where you need to supplement your income? I mean, I know gas is expensive, but you're driving a very economical vehicle.
Class D felony in Kentucky is punishable by up to 5 years in prison and a fine of up to $10,000. I'm sure the fine's not really going to concern him all that much.
Give him the fine and make him drive a Honda Pilot for the next 3 years.
Unbelievable. Just the stupid things that athletes will do. You have all of this I'm not going to say unlimited income, but when it comes to us Jimmys and Joes, $9.5 million that Montrezl Harrell is making, that's unlimited money.
Yeah.
Why are you driving drunk?
Never will I understand that. There are just a slew of things that very wealthy people do that I do not understand. Why are you riding around with recreationals that are not legal in your car? Why are you driving drunk? Uber is very cheap, comparatively.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't get it.
You're doing all of these things that you would expect just the regular rube to get busted for. It makes absolutely zero sense to me.
Just don't get it.
You can take $9.5 million and take just, I mean, even if you took an Uber every day, that would cost you what? $100,000 a year?
I mean, I take a lot of Ubers, and it does not cost me nearly that much.
But I'm saying if you took an Uber everywhere you went and you got the Uber XL or whatever, like the luxury package. I know that's not what the XL is. The XL is for the big cars, right?
XL's just for if you have a lot of people.
Okay.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
I mean, the only downside of Uber is that you invariably are going to, at some point, somebody in your car is going to ask that stupid question that everybody asks. So how do you like driving for Uber?
I bet you get to meet a lot of interesting people.
There is an Uber driver in this city that I offered $100 cash to let the person that asked that out.
Nice.
Bad thing is they were with me.
I always feel awkward. Like, do you spark up conversation with the Uber driver?
I've met. So Asheville is look. I know a lot of people listening to the show don't live in Asheville. You should Uber everywhere you go here, because I have met some of the most eclectic people behind the wheel of an Uber, and most of them are phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
One of them made me kiss pavement because it wasn't moving, and I was super stoked because I did not think I was getting out of that car alive.
Right.
Other than that, I've heard some amazing stories.
Yeah. I mean, I remember going, one of my first Uber trips was a father and son duo. They were talking on the radio to each other. Apparently, this is like their big side hustle, and they've got it figured out. They had it mapped out. Like, all right, I'm going to this side of town, you're going to this side of town. And I went, now, see, these are some entrepreneurial spirits.
My first Uber experience was a woman who, I'm going to be nice and say she was a little past the you should be driving for a living age, that said, I don't know the city we're in, and literally had no more said that than she ran over the median and then drove down it for 500 feet.
Oh, wait.
Please let me out. I'll get out in the middle of the highway. I don't care. I have to get out of this car now.
I have had to do that once. Give the Uber driver directions of, don't do that. Don't take this road. You need to take the side street. I mean, if you're going to drive in the city, you should probably know all the greatest shortcuts and things to get around. That's just me, though. Let's get just a bit outside.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
All right, have you ever heard the name Fat Clay?
I have.
Apparently, Fat Clay is pretty popular on the YouTubes, as he is an impersonator. He is an impersonator of Klay Thompson. He looks a lot like Klay Thompson of the Golden State Warriors. Now, the funny thing is, he got a letter yesterday from the Golden State Warriors, says he is no longer allowed back in the building. He's no longer allowed at the Chase Center. He is no longer allowed at any property that they own. They have even banned him from Santa Cruz. Wherever the Santa Cruz Warriors play, he's not allowed there either. Because he showed up at shoot-around.
For Game 5 of the NBA Finals.
Game 5 of the NBA Finals. He went through the employee's entrance. No one stopped him. He had no credentials. They just went, oh, look, there's Klay. Like, I mean, I get it. At first glance, he kind of looks like Klay.
He looks like Klay if Clay was sponsored by, I don't know, McDonald's.
Right. I was going to say he looks like Clay if Clay was a Backstreet Boy.
None of the Backstreet Boys were heavy.
Okay, maybe I'm thinking of NSYNC, the fat one.
Yeah, that was long after
Joey Fatone.
That was long after they had been popular.
Because he does kind of look like Joey Fatone. Anyway, he showed up at shoot-around, went through security and everything, or got past security. No one ever checked an ID. No one ever said anything to him. He just showed up at shoot-around, and then he got a letter with the Chase letterhead on it and the Golden State Warriors logo that says, on June 13th, 2022, you entered through the employee's entrance, and it went on from there to explain this is against our fan code of conduct. This is against all of the rules of the NBA and the Chase Center. You are no longer allowed to come back to any NBA, WNBA, G League, 2K League event or any other event ever held at the Chase Center. So no concerts, no nothing. And if he does, they will charge him with criminal trespass.
I am dumbfounded that he managed to do 10 minutes of the shoot-around before anybody noticed this.
Mm-hmm.
How is that possible? Where are you hiring these security people from?
He must be a pretty good shot, though, for it to go on that long.
I don't know. It's 10 minutes.
That's a long time.
That's an incredibly long time.
Was he taking shots? Was he just walking around and, passing
According
the ball
to what
off?
he said, he shot around for 10 minutes before he was ever noticed. And I got news for you. I was a pretty decent basketball player back in the day. You would have found me out in 25 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
I have been courtside for NBA games. There's a huge difference between an NBA player and some random guy that looks like Klay Thompson. This is about the 7th time in these playoffs that I've looked at NBA security and just gone, how does this keep happening? I get that nobody credentialed him. He does look enough like Klay Thompson that, you're not going to credential Klay.
Right.
So I get that part.
Because you don't want to have that whole, do you know who I am moment.
It's the whole, hey, Klay, why are you coming directly from the parking lot in full uniform? That's weird. Don't think I've ever seen a player do that before.
Yep. At the College World Series. College World Series getting ready to kick off in Omaha, Nebraska. Finals of the college baseball season. And unfortunately, one man who had plans to be there at the College World Series will not be allowed to participate. He's a national anthem singer. His name is Zach Collier, 27-year-old U.S. history teacher from the Dallas-Fort Worth area and an alum of Texas A&M. His invitation to sing the national anthem has been revoked. And they say it's because he was offensive on social media. His offensive nature, or his offensive act on social media, was that he posted the down hook'em horns.
The upside down hook'em?
Yeah. How far are we going to take this? Like, how is that offensive?
I have no idea.
How is it? And here's the thing.
I'm convinced we live in a society where 90% of people do not understand what the word offended means.
Now, the fact that Texas is taking part in the College World Series and will be there, I could kind of understand, but it would be one thing, says Zach Collier, if he had sang the national anthem and then done it on the mound during the Texas game.
That would have been the most epic thing in the history of time.
It would have been, but it's also, come on. And he said, yeah, I would have way more respect for the College World Series if they would just have reached out to me and said, hey, we would appreciate it if you did not do that. Or if he was being really offensive. His post that they went back to was actually him making fun of the fact that people said that the down horns gesture was offensive. Remember when we went through all this in the college football season? And they banned it. You can no longer do that. You got a taunting penalty and all of that. And now they're not going to let this guy sing the national anthem at the College World Series.
Anybody that has ever been offended by that has never seen me or any friend of mine on stage doing stand-up. I promise you.
All right, and then not to steal thunder from, one of the national hosts, but, one of my favorites, Dan Patrick. He always has his stat of the day. And so
I'm not singing the song.
No, here is my version of the stat of the day, just because I think it's terribly cool. This is a baseball stat. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., like father, like son, to the point nobody could have ever guessed. Last night, he played in his 403rd career game, had 3 hits, 3 RBIs, hit a home run, and struck out in 5 at-bats. He now has a career on-base percentage of .363. Interestingly enough, 403 games into his father's Major League Baseball career, they had dang near the same stats. Vladimir Guerrero Sr., at 403 games, had 87 home runs and an OBP of .364. And in fact, they traced it back to the exact games, and it almost matched up completely to the stat lines for Vladimir Sr.'s 402nd game, where he hit his 87th home run and had 2 RBIs, struck out, was 3 for 5 in a game. And then the 403rd game of Vladimir Jr.'s career, darn near the same statistics, just 1 more RBI than Daddy had. I think that's terribly cool. I hope the rest of Vladimir Jr.'s career goes as well as Daddy's did.
I think it's weird that you said Daddy right there twice. That was weird. Don't do that. We don't talk about a lot of hockey on this show. Some have said we should, but you don't want to hear us talk about hockey because we don't know what we're talking about.
Right.
However, I do know what I'm talking about here. The Winnipeg Jets have a coaching opening. Paul Maurice stepped down in the middle of the season. Apparently, this is a talented team, and things just didn't go exactly their way. So now they're looking for a new coach. Go to New York. New York fired Barry Trotz. This is a guy that won a Stanley Cup. He's a 59-year-old guy. Won the 2018 Stanley Cup championship. Well, apparently, a local sports talk show, Winnipeg Sports Talk, has come up with an idea. They want Barry Trotz to take over the Winnipeg Jets.
Okay.
And they have teamed up with one of their sponsors, the Little Brown Jug Brewing Company, and they have offered him an incentive to take the job. Free beer for life. The exact phrasing of this was, your fridge will be completely stocked for the rest of your life, no matter how this goes. All you have to do is say yes. I don't know squat about hockey. I also don't know anything about the Little Brown Jug Brewing Company. I'm in. I will take this job right now, sight unseen.
Just for all the beer.
All the way in. And you know what? I may not be able to coach hockey, but I look like I could maybe know something about it. I don't. But for free beer, I'll do about anything. I'll let you hit me in the face with a wiffle ball bat for the right amount of free Little Brown Jug Brewing Company beverages.
Okay. All right.
I just want to see him take the job to see if they actually do it. Like, I want to see him take the job, and at the initial press conference, they just show up with kegs over each arm. Like, party on, Wayne. Let's go.
As you know, there will not be a fan of that show that will let that go on without that happening. You can't promise something on your show and then not deliver.
I feel like that is an open invitation to every brewery in the city. We are Beer City, USA.
Indeed.
I really enjoy that. So there are a lot of things that, here's the thing. Call me. We could make this funny.
Yeah. Very well could. You got another one? You said you had like 4 of them.
I mean, we did, but you told 4, so I went, I'm good with 1.
All right. The Tour 54 continues to be the only thing anybody wants to talk about at the U.S. Open.
And it's the most counterintuitive thing I think I've ever seen.
Okay,
so
explain.
So obviously the U.S. Open opens on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
So media availability is open. John Rahm, Brooks Koepka, and Rory McIlroy will not stop talking about the LIV. And I'm going to make this real clear. If you don't bring it up, they'll ask you questions. But if you don't give them a quote, it'll go away. Because you know what matters? The tournament on Thursday. That's what matters.
Mm-hmm.
If you will stop treating this thing like it's the great, terrifying Sasquatch, it won't be that big of a story. It's dumbfounding to me. Of course they're going to ask the questions. You had to know that was happening coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Brooks Koepka called it the black cloud around the U.S. Open. Really? Really? A bunch of guys that, in large part, were not in any way going to be competitive in this. And now they're even here. It would be one thing if they weren't here. They're here. Let them answer it.
Mm-hmm.
Stop doing this. Just take the question and go, you know what? I don't really have anything to say about that, and move right along. But Rory McIlroy seemingly has made this his mission to rip these guys every time he opens his mouth.
Well, he's a brown noser. He's just trying to get good in the good graces of Patrick Monahan, I guess.
And I just don't get it. Why does it have anything to do with you? Like, what do you care? You made it very clear that you weren't taking the money. I guess this goes back to that offended thing.
Mm-hmm.
I do not understand why somebody else doing something means this much to you. I just don't get it.
Because you're not part of our club anymore. Because, there are people who feel like these guys have spat in the face of, how many ever years of tradition of the PGA. I don't know even how old the PGA is. 120 years or something.
Well, what really rubbed me the wrong way, and this was I'm mad yesterday, and I'm going to double down right here. It's really easy for somebody like Rory McIlroy to say, you took the easy way out. Rory's made $63 million on the PGA Tour.
Mm-hmm.
That's before one sponsor dollar dropped anywhere. I don't think Chase Koepka's made that.
No.
I don't have the exact figure because, well, you can't find it. But it's less than $1 million, I can tell you that much.
Mm-hmm.
He made more in that tournament than he's ever made in any event in his life. Probably more than he's made in any year in his life. And so I understand the reasons that you would be upset about this. And if that's what they were saying, okay, I get it. If you're upset about where the money's coming from, I at least understand that.
Mm-hmm.
Saying you took the easy way out is absolutely as tone deaf of anything I've ever heard somebody say. Let me give you an example. Take whatever it is you do for a living. Let's say somebody you work with takes a job that maybe they're not qualified for, making entirely more money than they could ever make where you work. It'd be like you getting mad at that person.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you don't deserve that. You could have just worked to get to where I'm at. Well, that's real easy to say when you look at your bank balance. It's not so easy to say when these guys look at theirs. I watched that entire tournament. Half of these guys probably don't make any more than I do.
But was Rory taking a shot at the smaller guys, or was he
talking about the younger guys? He said he understood why Phil did it because Phil's in his 50s and it was just a money grab.
Okay.
See, in my opinion, the Phils of the world are the ones I understand you being mad at. They don't need the money.
Mm-hmm.
The ones I don't get is you're ripping these young guys of, oh, you could have just put in the work. Yeah, and he might have starved first. Because I got news for you. It's not cheap. It's not cheap to be a low-level guy on the PGA Tour. And some of these were. There were a slew of guys that were in that tournament that are not in the top 100 of the world golf rankings, which means sponsorship deals. Rory McIlroy's lowest sponsor, the one he puts on the back of his cleat, pays more than these guys get total. And you're still having to pay to get to all these tournaments, and you're having to pay. There's more to this than people think. And look, I'm not trying to defend this tour. I understand why people are upset about it. I get it. I'm just saying I think you're mad at the wrong people. You want to be mad at Phil Mickelson? Be mad. You want to be mad at Dustin Johnson? Be mad.
See, that's who I would imagine he would be mad at.
But it's not. He was talking about the guys that are my age or younger. Rory's 33 years old. I went through the entire field. I cannot find one person that was younger than him that's made more than $1.5 million in their life.
Right.
And before you say, well, $1.5 million is a lot of money, it's a lot more expensive to work to play on the PGA Tour than it is to work at the Home Depot. Mm-hmm. So don't compare your job to theirs. It's right. Not the same.
And maybe it is. Maybe it's part jealousy that he wishes something like this had been around for him when he was struggling.
And I don't think that's it. Rory McIlroy was a young phenom.
That is true.
There's no jealousy there. This is just talking out of both sides of your mouth. To me, I'll level you. I think he's pandering to the highest level. Mm-hmm. That's exactly what I think he's doing. He knows people are angry, and I've seen a slew of people on social media say, Rory is the voice of reason. No, Rory is a disingenuous schmuck at this point. Because all I've gleaned from anything he said is, you didn't offer enough to get him. He didn't have to do it, and yet I'm going to judge you because it's more money than you've ever seen before in your life.
Ooh, maybe that's it. Maybe he didn't get a $200 million offer.
He did. I don't know how much I don't know exactly how much it was for, but I've heard it was more than Dustin Johnson. You got to realize a lot of these tournaments are played overseas. Rory McIlroy is an exponentially bigger star in, say, London than Dustin Johnson is.
Mm-hmm.
They're only playing 2 of these in America.
True.
So I'm sure he got a very large cut, and he turned it down. And that's great for you. That is phenomenal for you. But trying to get into other guys' pockets and trying to understand why they do things, just live your life. Why is that so hard? You don't like what they did. Fine, tell them that. But being the story at the PGA, and then Brooks Koepka says this is the black cloud. It's the black cloud because you're making it that. If you would stop acknowledging this, I'm not going to say it would go away.
Mm-hmm.
You stop answering it, they'll stop asking eventually. Can't tell you it'll be this week. But the fact that you're giving them a media bite every time you open your mouth, of course they continue to ask this.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
Just keep your eye on the ball. At Ingles, we know that big dreams don't always make it to the big leagues. But we also know that baseball, it's family. It's about building character. And as sure as there'll be some stumbles on that journey from first to home, we'll be right there, cheering you on. This is baseball, and this is who we are. Ingles, we're with you every step of the way.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
They say singing can help you remember things, so here's some tips for parents out there during these tough times.
Number 1.
Make sure your kids wash their hands for 20 seconds after they've coughed or sneezed or been outside.
2.
Virtual play dates, social and physical distancing can help save lives.
3.
Tell them they're safe and show your love and pride. Yes, we'll get through this together. Find out more at coronavirus.gov. A message from the CDC and the Ad Council.
By now, you know how regenerative medicine is amazingly effective at treating joint pain. QC Kinetics has helped thousands of people get their life back pain-free. They're now using the same regenerative protocols to restore thinning hair for men and women with astonishing results. It's hair restoration without surgery. Natural biologic treatments that can restore aging hair follicles, giving you thicker, fuller hair. Regenerative medicine is such a breakthrough, it uses your own body's powerful growth and healing agents, highly concentrated and applied directly to the affected area. No drugs, no surgery, and no downtime. So if you're losing your hair due to aging, pattern baldness, or a medical condition, call now to learn more about exciting natural biologic treatments that can stimulate those dormant hair follicles. Get it growing naturally again. Call QC Kinetics for a free consultation. 828-333-9517. With locations in Asheville and in Greenville. 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517.
Kelley Blue Book is the one-stop shop for pricing, fixing, selling, and instant cash offering. Instant Cash Offer is exactly what it sounds like. An official offer to buy or trade your car. Woo-hoo! Just enter your VIN or license plate, answer a few questions about your car's history, and what kind of condition it's in. In minutes, you'll receive an offer to sell or trade your car that you can be sure is fair. Then choose a dealer to purchase your car and schedule a time to meet. For all of the it's, KBB.com.
Aw, you didn't have to go so all out for my birthday.
Yes, we did. Because birthdays are about showing your friends how much you care for them and how grateful you are for their... This is Jamie from Progressive. No, this is a great time. Progressive protects you 24/7. Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm sorry that happened.
Jamie.
Can you hold on 1 second? I gotta take this call, but remember, birthdays are about togetherness.
Contact us 24/7 on the phone, online, or on the mobile app. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Covered subject to policy terms.
DQ presents. Picture this. Picture a Father's Day message that you can't fold up and put in an envelope. A DQ cake with Dad's name on it. Literally. Because a card is great, but this is a gift the whole family can enjoy. And that includes you. So serve up some cake made with world-famous vanilla soft serve and a fudge and crunch center that Dad and the fam are sure to love. No envelope required. Grab this Father's Day favorite cake to share with your favorite dad and your whole favorite family. Only at DQ. Happy tastes good.
The Sportsocracy. These guys are a f***ing disgrace.
And welcome back into the Sportsocracy. Top of the hour coming up fast and furious. We'll have the Sports Center update, and then after the top of the hour, we'll talk some more football. Got Sean Payton apparently getting a big ol' offer from the Miami Dolphins that he turned down, obviously. And we'll talk about most underrated players in the NFL after we talked most overrated yesterday. Today was the first time in 2 months that Deshaun Watson sat down for a press conference with the Cleveland Browns, and he said the exact same things this time as he said 2 months ago when he was announced. He was officially unveiled as the new quarterback of the Cleveland Browns and his $230 million guaranteed contract. This time, the 10 are a little bit different, though, because of the new cases that have cropped up. He is apparently going to face 2 more sexual misconduct allegations in lawsuits, which would bring the total to 26 now. But he continues to say that he has been honest, he's been truthful, he never forced anybody to do anything, and he just wants to clear his name.
And that should be the last thing he says in public until week 1 of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they'll fine you. Pay it. You do not need to. No good can come from you speaking. First of all, because the people that believe you are going to believe you. The people that don't.
Yep.
I don't understand the point. I said this when Rusty Hardin felt the urge to get his narrative out there. I don't understand why you're talking.
Yeah.
Let the legal course play itself out.
Well, you run into it's a tough question to ask. Do you get hammered more when you don't talk? If you talk, you got to make sure not to say stupid things like Rusty Hardin did on the radio show.
Well, I just don't understand what the point is. I don't get, what did he say that we didn't expect was going to come out of his mouth?
Deshaun Watson?
Yeah.
Nothing.
There was nothing there.
Nothing. I mean, even when they asked him, so the New York Times reported that there were 66 women in 17 months, and he went, I don't know. You'll have to ask my lawyers about that, which I thought was a little
disingenuous?
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, a little bit. But
I'm getting more and more to the point of I don't understand why Roger Goodell doesn't just go, okay, we're done.
Mm-hmm.
What we're doing this way. If you want to fight us. But we can't. It literally gets worse every single day. You have to take the action at some point, and the longer you wait, the worse it is.
Mm-hmm. I wonder what the reaction would be from other players, though. From other players who say, obviously, I don't think I've heard from any other player about this situation. And if they've been asked about it, they must have said no comment or whatever, which should be the case. But you run into that, is there part of that hesitancy from the league because of what the other players will think? Because what if it comes out that Deshaun did nothing? Or that nothing gets proved, or none of these cases succeed? Then you've taken away 2.5 years of this kid's career because of allegations. I'm not saying that's the way it is. I mean, I believe, like most people, I think, that something happened.
Beyond any shadow of a doubt.
Right. But should the allegations not be proven or whatever, then you got a problem.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. They're not going to be proven. You can't go into it, at least not before the season starts.
Right.
So, I mean, you're going to have to make a decision here with basically the information that you currently have.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to say,
get ready for the exempt list talk again.
And it's coming.
Yeah, it's coming very, very quickly. You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. We are live from the Ingles Studio. Ingles Supermarkets, low prices, love the savings. Sports Center is next.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Another very hot and humid day for us on Wednesday. Chance for a few showers and storms here tonight, otherwise partly cloudy skies near 70. Mix of clouds and sunshine Wednesday, very hot and humid with a chance of afternoon and evening storms. Any storm that we do see would have a chance for strong winds and heavy downpours. Record high temperatures expected Wednesday afternoon with highs in the low 90s. Afternoon storms, upper 80s Thursday. I'm meteorologist Ken Boone at the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples has your workspace covered with furniture and organizational items curated by Staples Work From Home Style Squad. Now get 25% off storage and filing products, chair mats, decor, and lighting with the purchase of a desk or office chair. In-store only, offer N72. Staples, the working and learning store.
DQ presents the sound of an all-star summer lineup. Leading off, the promising rookie, new Oreo Dirt Pie. On deck, the fan favorite Girl Scout Thin Mints. Summer standouts, Drumstick with peanuts and cotton candy. And batting cleanup, it's you. With your red spoon and 6 summer blizzard flavors, official treat of MLB. All part of the new DQ All-Star Summer Blizzard lineup. DQ? Happy tastes good.
The Toasted Cheddar Chalupa is back in town. And by in town, that means at Taco Bell. So if crispy bites of cheddar cheese toasted onto a flaky shell sounds delicious to you, get yourself a Toasted Cheddar Chalupa at participating Taco Bell locations for a limited time only.
Are you ready for summer? Wherever summer takes you, make sure you take your favorite radio station with you on your adventures with the free iHeartRadio app. That's right, no matter how far from home you travel, this station, the music you love, and the best podcasts in the world will be right there with you in your pocket.
Summer soundtrack.
Sunscreen, flip-flops, and the free iHeart app. Must-haves for any summer checklist.
From the Ingles Studios, this is
app.
ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
This is Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson again today said he is innocent of the allegations of inappropriate sexual conduct made against him. Also said he has no regrets about many of his actions, but does regret the impact the allegations have had on the people around him. 24 civil lawsuits filed against Watson alleging inappropriate sexual conduct. 2 days before teeing off at the U.S. Open, Rory McIlroy said he understands why some aging players were tempted by millions of dollars in signing bonuses to join LIV Golf. Also said he's disappointed that some PGA Tour players took the easy way out in joining the rival's Saudi-backed series. He was also asked if he still respects Phil Mickelson.
As a golfer, no. I think he won a major championship 13 months ago. Am I disappointed he's taken the route that he's taken? I am, but I still respect him tremendously.
Rory McIlroy on if he still respects Phil Mickelson. Serena Williams granted a wild card invitation to play at this month's Wimbledon. She has not competed since injuring her right leg last year at the All England Club. Braves second baseman Ozzie Albies on the 60-day IL with a fractured foot.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. We're close, convenient, and known for our guaranteed everyday low prices and excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy, presented by Ingles Supermarkets.
And welcome back into the Ingles Studio here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy heard everywhere on the iHeart Radio app, seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click on that live video link, subscribe to the channel so you always get the alerts when we go live. Yes, that's going to be important when it comes to football season, as we will have all of the extra content that you can handle with fantasy shows and live broadcasts during games. We did all of that last year, and that will not cease.
Oh, you're going to have all kinds of things, and a lot of them will start next week. Some of them I overextended myself. I promise you come Tuesday, you will know why things were delayed a little bit. It will all make sense.
Your subscription.
It's all part of the plan.
Your subscription to the Sportsocracy also gets you immediate access to the program here through the chat. We're going to be talking about most underrated players in the NFL coming up later on in the hour. So get those in while you can. If you want your underrated choice highlighted during the discussion, please go and do that. We're always brought to you by Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings, and the Miami Dolphins apparently don't believe in low prices.
No, no, they don't.
Because the offer that they made to Sean Payton reportedly was $100 million. Now, we've already seen a $100 million contract be doled out by an NFL team for a head coach. We saw that with the Las Vegas Raiders.
Didn't end so well.
Didn't go well, but it was a historic contract at the moment. 10 years, $100 million, largest contract ever given to a head coach. The reporting, there are two different reports. So Sports Illustrated reporting that the offer was 4 years, $100 million. For those of you who are not good at math, that's $25 million a season. Now, the Sun-Sentinel down in Miami reporting that it was a 5-year deal for $100 million. But again, for those of you not good at math, that's still $20 million a season.
Which is $7.5 million more than Bill Belichick makes.
Uh-huh.
And he's worth every single penny.
Is he, though?
100%. How many coaches in NFL history have a better winning percentage than Sean Payton if they coached more than 9 seasons?
I'm going to guess none.
No, it's more than he's 14th.
Okay.
But there are a slew of Vince Lombardi, George Allen, Ray Flaherty, George Halas, guys that coached in, I don't know, the 1950s.
Mm-hmm.
Of modern-day coaches, how many you got?
Bill.
That's one.
Bill Walsh?
Nope. Don Shula, Paul Brown, Mike Tomlin, Andy Reid, end of list.
Wow. Okay.
End of message.
End message.
He's that good of a coach. And I fully believe, now that I know what the money is, he looked at this and went, I'm not in any better of a shape in Miami than I was in New Orleans. He walked away because he looked at New Orleans and went, I'm tired.
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing this this would have been his 16th season. I've heard a lot of narrative of he didn't think he could win there. I don't agree with that because you left off the back end of that. He knew he could win 10 games with his team.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't think he could win a Super Bowl. And he didn't think he had the interest in not a rebuild, but a retool. He didn't want to do that. He looked at Miami, said it's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to take a year off. He's going to go do games with Fox. And in a year, we'll see what's out there.
And we all know what's going to be out there.
There's one job.
Yeah.
It's the Dallas Cowboys.
Of course it is.
It's the Dallas Cowboys. That's what he's waiting on.
Mm-hmm. Because the Dallas Cowboys don't live up to expectations again this year. Mike McCarthy will be pounding sand.
And that's where I knew you were going to take that.
Mm-hmm.
Are we sure that's the job he would be waiting on?
I mean, I'm pretty sure he's on record as saying that's his dream job.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Things change. I'm just throwing this out there. Things change. Because he loved New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Dallas is better at quarterback than New Orleans is.
Yes.
Name me the other position where they're better. I'll give you a hint. I couldn't find one.
Okay.
The weapons are better-ish. I get Alvin Kamara, so I'm treating that as my second weapon. I get Alvin Kamara and Michael Thomas. You've got Zeke and CeeDee Lamb.
Right.
I'm going to say that's a wash. You want to give a slight lean to Dallas? More power to you. I don't necessarily agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not so sure that that's the job he's looking at. And look, I know what he said. He worked there. I get all of that. My question is, why would a coach like Sean Payton want to deal with Jerry Jones? Why would you want to deal with the scrutiny of that? Look, New Orleans has a great fan base. They, on their best day, are not as retentive as Dallas Cowboy media.
Okay.
Do you really want to deal with that every single day?
I think you do. I think when you're the best of the best, you do, because you want to be the guy.
And I'm sure there's a merit to that.
You want to be the guy that wins Dallas another Super Bowl. You want to bring America's team back to prominence.
And I'm sure there's a merit to that.
I don't think there's any other explanation of why he would want to go back to Dallas.
Well, I mean, he's comfortable there. He's been there. I get all those things.
Mm-hmm.
That's not my point. My point is that this is a coach that an NFL team was willing to offer $20 million to.
Yes.
Do I think that's a little high? Maybe. But now the market's been set. My question is, why would you take the Cowboys job when I know full well you're going to have there's no telling how many jobs could come open just for the shot to talk to him. If the LA Chargers missed the playoffs this year, you'd be shocked if they fired Brandon Staley to hire Sean Payton?
Yes.
I wouldn't. Not in any way. And I'll be honest with you, there's already a report that if that happens, that will happen.
Okay.
To make the run at Sean Payton.
Oh, you're saying if they miss the playoffs.
That's what I just said.
Oh, okay. All right.
Now, how much validity there is to that, I don't know. This is a story that's less than 12 hours old. So you're going to hear a lot of things like this. What got me thinking about this was everybody just immediately went, well, he tapped out on the Dolphins because they're the Cowboys in a year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not as certain of that.
But what other jobs could be coming open?
Oh, that would interest him?
Yeah.
There are a few. There's been a lot of turnover among coaches. So, all right, you take out guys that have been in the job for 2 years. I think one of them's close to here.
Carolina?
I would personally rather deal with Carolina and their current flaw than Dallas and their flaw. I'm a $20 million coach.
Mm-hmm.
I'm set for the rest of my life. Where am I going to deal with less nonsense? Carolina. It's not close. It's not even vaguely close.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not even the one I'm looking at. The Arizona Cardinals are the one that makes infinite sense. Where do old guys go to retire?
Mm-hmm.
It ain't Dallas, I can tell you that much. To deal with wackadoodle Jerry Jones. And it's not even the pressure. I'm not sitting here telling you that he would back down from the challenge. My question is why? Why is this what you would want to do? You left New Orleans where you were comfortable because you didn't think you could win a Super Bowl there. You think you can win a Super Bowl in Dallas?
Sure.
I don't. I don't think that team's in any better position than the New Orleans Saints are.
Okay.
New Orleans, okay, I'm going to ask you 3 questions. You tell me which side of this you'd fall in on. Which front office do you believe more in, New Orleans or Dallas?
New Orleans, probably.
There you go. Which ownership group do you believe more in, New Orleans or Dallas? And this is really not a pat on the back to New Orleans. It's more of a, I don't want to deal with Jerry Jones.
Yeah. I mean, there are pluses to both sides. I mean, with Jerry Jones,
what's the plus with Jerry Jones?
Well, you know he's going to go all in. You know
it's the NFL. Every owner goes all in. There's no owner that's going, you know what, we're just holding back $40 million. I'm going to pocket that and spend it on a Cluckies.
Mm-hmm.
Something we don't have here.
Cluckies.
Cluckies chicken.
To me, there's not really a choice. If you said, okay, you can come back to New Orleans or you can have that dream job, I'll take what headaches come along with it, because I'm going to get more respect for turning the Cowboys back into a champion.
You're a Super Bowl champion. I don't need respect. I don't need your accolades. I don't need your flowers. This is a type A personality.
Mm-hmm.
He's coming back to win. That's it. There are no other motives.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need your accolades. I'll be in the Hall of Fame regardless. I don't need your flowers. I don't need your pats on the head. I don't need well, you were the one that turned around the Cowboys. He'll be 59 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, he may be older than that now that I think about it. That may be an outdated number that I just saw.
But does he have a better path to winning a championship in Arizona?
Honestly, it's close. It's more. It will be more his team. But, and this is what I started thinking about is, all right, let's say he comes in and wins one with Dak Prescott and the pieces that are already put together.
Mm-hmm.
Is he going to get the love for that, or is he going to get the Tony Dungy treatment? Tony Dungy wins one with Peyton Manning. Well, that wasn't his team. So you deal with that. You'd have to deal with Jerry Jones. There's a lot of annoyance here that I'm just good with.
Who do you think Mike McCarthy's going to get the accolades for that?
Mike McCarthy's is a puppet. Which, if you look at the 30-plus years Jerry Jones has owned this team, outside of Jimmy Johnson and Bill Parcells, that's what they've all been.
Mm-hmm.
There's just this thought that Jerry's going to turn over control. Well, he's never done it before. And to be honest with you, the other two ended pretty disastrously at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Jimmy won Super Bowls. That's great. Nobody's ever going to rain on that parade. The Bill Parcells thing was a disaster. You do know that's who brought him in this league, right?
Mm-hmm.
You do realize that's his mentor in this league.
Mm-hmm.
I promise you Jerry Jones is not getting any attaboys from Bill Parcells. And I've just heard this narrative that, of course, well, a year from now, Sean Payton's just going to take the Cowboys' job. I think he's going to take a job. I'm not as convinced that it's Dallas. I'm also not convinced Jerry Jones would pay $20 million to a coach.
I just have a hard time seeing any. Oh, if he thought it would bring him a Super Bowl.
Has he ever done it before? What you're doing right now is that same thing that guys do when they meet the girl that's putting cigarettes out on their couch.
Mm-hmm.
I could change her. She loves me. It'll be fine. Everything she's ever done, she busted out the windows of my car, but you know what? She was just angry. It's fine. He's never done it before, but he would change his mind for Sean Payton.
Mm-hmm.
How many times have we said that? When Jason Garrett got fired, he's going to make the run at Sean Payton. Oh, he's going to go get a high-profile coach. He got Mike McCarthy,
mm-hmm.
who looks more like Kirby from the video game than he looks like a high-level head coach. That's what Jerry Jones does. He puts puppets in this job that he can control. It's been 15-plus years since he had a high-level coach in this league.
Mm-hmm.
No, Mike McCarthy is not a high-level coach in this league.
No, he's not. Which to me is part of the allure to getting Sean Payton.
The only allure to me, and I've tried to find one to not play devil's advocate here, the only allure to me of Dallas is no state tax. I got nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
I got a team that I don't think I can win a Super Bowl with, and there's really nothing that's going to change that.
Right.
Because you're locked into so many deals. That team is so top-heavy. And I got to deal with Jerry, and I got to deal with the media, and I got to deal with the fan base, and I got to deal with the expectations.
Mm-hmm.
Or I could just sit here at Fox, and I would wager he's doing quite nicely.
Sure.
I mean, it's not going to be to this level, but you're doing fine.
Mm-hmm.
At 60 years old, am I dead committed to that? No.
But if he really wants to, get back into coaching, feel like he's...
There will be 8 jobs open just to have a shot at him. Who they are, I have no idea. I'll tell you as soon as the season's over.
See, that's what I was looking at. I'm looking through the situations around the league right now, and, okay, the Carolina Panthers are going to come open. You think Sean Payton would take that job over the Dallas Cowboys knowing he doesn't have a quarterback?
Depends on where that draft pick falls in. Depends on how you feel about the draft.
Well, we've said that the draft pick's not going to be in the top 5.
But what if it is?
Okay.
What if it is?
What if it is? What if it's number 5? So he can have Tyler Van Dyke rather than Dak Prescott.
Young quarterback on a rookie deal. I get 5 years of you below market price.
Mm-hmm.
I've already got good talent. I don't think it's that unheard of. Cleveland Browns with Kevin Stefanski. If he's as unliked behind closed doors as I've heard he is. the Deshaun Watson thing doesn't pan out, he doesn't play this year, then all of a sudden, maybe we'll make a run at Sean Payton.
Mm-hmm.
That job's more attractive.
Okay.
I could do this with a slew of others. And look, I'm not telling you won't become the Dallas Cowboys head coach. It just seems to be this foregone conclusion, and I don't think it should be.
Indianapolis with Frank Reich.
100%. I'd take that job and wouldn't think about it.
Knowing that
What's the path after Matt Ryan? I don't know. I'll figure it out.
Right. Okay. To me, that seems like the next most likely scenario, other than the Dallas Cowboys.
And really, it's not even a, hey, let me peg what job he's going to take, because there's still I'm going to say a better than 25% possibility. He goes, I don't want to do this at all.
Mm-hmm.
He loved New Orleans. He was Mr. New Orleans. It was him and Drew Brees.
Mm-hmm.
Took 1 year and no Drew Brees for him to look around and go, I'm good. I need a year off. He turned down $20 million a year. That's not a thought. That's not conjecture. It's confirmed.
Mm-hmm.
He turned down $20 million a year. And now you're just telling me a year from now he's going to go, hey, I can't wait to go hang out with Jerry Jones. This has been fun for everybody else that's done it. I don't buy it.
Seattle Seahawks. Pete Carroll decides to retire.
That one makes a doozy bit of sense as well.
Yeah, but again, it's not going to be a better situation that you're stepping into.
Never know. That team's going to be sold within the next 12 months. Look at what these teams are selling for. That could be the Jeff Bezos Seahawks.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying. Just saying. It's not his leather Richard Pete that he winds up in Dallas.
Yeah, I think that was the plan all along, was that he takes the year off and he's waiting for Mike McCarthy to get fired.
All right, I'm going to ask you 2 questions and then we'll move on.
Okay.
Do you see any path Jerry Jones offers a coach $20 million?
Yeah.
The answer is no. He's never been in the top half of the NFL in coaching salaries. This would be triple what he's ever paid a coach, if not quadruple.
Mm-hmm.
No shot. No shot. It's not who he is. Any Cowboy fan will tell you that I'm right about what I'm saying right here. He undercut Bill Parcells. I think he would undercut Sean Payton. Because it's the Dallas Cowboys. Everybody wants to be here.
Mm-hmm.
How about them Cowboys? All right, so that's A.
Okay.
How many people you ever seen turn down $10 million a year? Because they really like it somewhere.
Good point.
There you go.
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Who are some of the most underrated players in the NFL? We'll start the discussion after this.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Another very hot and humid day for us on Wednesday. Chance for a few showers and storms here tonight. Otherwise, partly cloudy skies near 70. Mix of clouds and sunshine Wednesday. Very hot and humid with a chance of afternoon and evening storms. Any storm that we do see would have a chance for strong winds and heavy downpours. Record high temperatures expected Wednesday afternoon with highs in the low 90s. Afternoon storms upper 80s Thursday. I'm meteorologist Ken Boone at the Weather Channel.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
No accidents or stalls in the roadways. Interstates 240, 26, and 40 moving well. On the Captain Jeff Bowen Bridge, no backups. Smoky Park Highway, incident-free. Patton Avenue, light traffic volume. New Leicester Highway, no backups. Hendersonville Road moving well. Sweeten Creek Road, no delays. Brevard Road, no backups. Long Shoals Road, incident-free. Airport Road, no delays. On the Charlotte Highway, no backups. And Tunnel Road moving well. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. The toasted cheddar chalupa is back in town. And by in town, that means at Taco Bell. So if crispy bites of cheddar cheese toasted onto a flaky shell sounds delicious to you, get yourself a toasted cheddar chalupa at participating Taco Bell locations for a limited time only.
DQ presents. Picture this. Picture a Father's Day message that you can't fold up and put in an envelope. A DQ cake with Dad's name on it. Literally. Because a card is great, but this is a gift the whole family can enjoy. And that includes you. So serve up some cake made with world-famous vanilla soft serve and a fudge and crunch center that Dad and the fam are sure to love. No envelope required. Grab this Father's Day favorite cake to share with your favorite dad and your whole favorite family. Only at DQ. Happy tastes good.
Kelley Blue Book is the one-stop shop for pricing, fixing, selling, and instant cash offering. Instant Cash Offer is exactly what it sounds like. An official offer to buy or trade your car. Just enter your VIN or license plate, answer a few questions about your car's history, and what kind of condition it's in. In minutes, you'll receive an offer to sell or trade your car that you can be sure is fair. Then choose a dealer to purchase your car and schedule a time to meet. For all of the its, KBB.com.
Research shows listeners don't like it when ads interrupt their music. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual customizes home insurance, we made this ad optional. If you want to skip this ad, remove your left earphone. Liberty Mutual customizes home insurance so you only pay for what you need.
If you're missing this informative ad, you must love wasting your cash.
It's the easy and smart way to save.
Now it's all been said, so if that earphone was out, put it back in your head.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
DQ presents. Picture this. Picture a Father's Day message that you can't fold up and put in an envelope. A DQ cake with Dad's name on it. Literally. Because a card is great, but this is a gift the whole family can enjoy. And that includes you. So serve up some cake made with world-famous vanilla soft serve and a fudge and crunch center that Dad and the fam are sure to love. No envelope required. Grab this Father's Day favorite cake to share with your favorite dad and your whole favorite family. Only at DQ. Happy tastes good.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling? Because I love football.
Back here in the Ingles Studio on ESPN Asheville, I'm Tank Spencer. He's Jeremy Greene. We talked to overrated NFL players yesterday.
And there were a slew of them, and a lot of them played for that Dallas Cowboy team we were just talking about.
That's right. So now it's time to talk underrated players in the NFL. We posted this out on the social media again, like we did the overrated players list from yesterday. What were some of the responses we heard?
Our buddy Cowboy Zach Hurst had one that was one of the impetuses. Impeti. I don't think that's right, but I'm going to go with it.
Probably not.
Is it insane to say Mike Evans?
No, I don't feel like it is.
I don't think it is. And I'll go ahead and tell you, the players do a survey of this every single year. They have not done the one for this year.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Evans was third in the player survey last year. And I don't think they're wrong.
Yeah. I just, what is he rated? Because, again, much like we did the overrated bands bracket, you know, how rated is he to be overrated or underrated? So the common thought is Mike Evans is a top blank wide receiver in the NFL.
I would say 10, 8 to 10, somewhere in there.
See, and I don't know that he's better than that. And, I mean, I get it. I love the guy. He plays for my Buccaneers, and he's done something in his NFL career that nobody else has ever done. 8,000-yard seasons to start out a career? That's great.
I'm going to say something
that's in the top 5?
I'm going to say something horribly unpopular.
Okay.
I got to 4 that I felt really good. They're better than Mike Evans.
Okay.
No matter what offense you put them in, no matter where they go, they're better. It was Devontae Adams, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Stephon Diggs.
Okay.
End of message. I could not find another one. Cooper Kupp. Please throw that at me. I dare you.
Right.
I like the kid. Don't get me wrong. But you're going to be grossly disappointed this year when he's got Odell Beckham and Allen Robinson on that team.
Okay.
Still good. I'm just, he's kind of, okay, look at the offense he's played in.
So underrated by a smidge.
I think he and Keenan Allen are the two most underrated wide receivers in the NFL. And I can't really find a third one that even makes, I mean, I want to say A.J. Brown because, you know, everybody sleeps on A.J. Brown. That's what I'm a big fan of.
Right.
I mean, and as Stephen Townsend just said in his comments, you also got to look at Mike Evans has not had the greatest stability at quarterback.
True.
That 8,000-yard years, 2 of those were with Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm.
The other 6 were with Jameis Winston, Ryan Fitzpatrick. I don't even remember who came before Jameis Winston.
Yeah, I can't either.
So it's not exactly like he's been thrown to by the greatest set of receivers you've ever seen. In the comments, somebody said Brandon Cooks. And I've actually seen that one a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
I don't disagree. He's a little bit of a head case from everything I've ever been told, which I'm not holding that against you. You're a fantastic player.
Right.
You being a
You're
little bit of
case. I mean, come on.
Yeah. I think anybody that listens to the show already knows that.
Right.
You really don't have to listen to the show. You take one look at me and go, that's a big dude with a mullet and a ginger beard. You're a little crazy.
Yeah, he's got some things going on.
He's got some stuff happening that's not great.
Brandon Cooks, okay. I will accept that. I mean, he even made Davis Mills look good last year.
Look, Davis Mills is good. I'm just going to be honest with you. Davis Mills is good.
Okay.
I saw ESPN did an article about rating the 6 sophomore quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
There were a slew of personnel people that put Davis Mills ahead of Justin Fields and ahead of Trey Lance. And I'm not 100% sure I disagree with you.
Yeah, I can't.
I'm not sure I wouldn't have him ahead of Mac Jones, too. Mac Jones is safer.
Yeah.
I don't know that he has the high-end upside.
Okay.
I like Davis Mills a lot. Terry McLaurin, DJ Moore, Allen Robinson. That's the reason we started with receivers. Is once you get into that next tier, there are a lot.
Mm-hmm. I would say even Odell.
Odell catches a lot of the stink of how it ended in New York and Cleveland, and I don't think he should. I would not contest you on Odell Beckham Jr.
I know there are some people who believe that he's overrated.
Those people are crazy.
But
take away Cleveland, look at that career and go, yeah, he's like not a top 20 receiver in the NFL.
Right.
Okay, then.
Right. So I think Odell deserves a mention here.
Allen Robinson's the one I really wanted to, and Tyler Boyd. Those two are I can't put them on this list for completely opposite reasons.
Okay.
Allen Robinson has the high side. He cannot stay healthy. He's had that problem since he's been in the league.
Mm-hmm.
The talent is there. If he plays 17 games, absolutely. He's a no doubt number 1 wide receiver. I think he's the number 1 over Cooper Kupp. But I don't trust him to stay healthy. Mm-hmm. The reason I feel almost 100% sure Odell Beckham Jr. winds up in L.A. again is because of how nervous I would be with Allen Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got the home and before I forget, Tyler Boyd, super safe receiver. I just don't know that he has the high. I mean, look at every name we've said here. One of them does not fit in terms of elite receiver.
Right.
I would say he's more underappreciated than he is underrated.
Okay.
There is a slight difference there.
Hunter Renfrow, would you put him in that category?
Somebody said that across the social medias. It's hard for me to look at a slot receiver that just got $16 million a year. Somebody appreciates you.
Well, his team obviously appreciates him. But when you start going down the list of great slot receivers in this league, with the average fan, how long does it take before Hunter Renfrow's name comes up?
And that's not a bad point. I mean, I think he's worth mentioning.
Mm-hmm.
He wouldn't have been on my list, which we will get into after Weird News. There were a couple of receivers, and there's one that's real close to here that I think you also have to discuss.
DJ Moore?
I think he has to at least be acknowledged.
Sure.
No receiver in the league has had more, we'll call it instability, because I'm in a nice mood.
That is the biggest punch you've ever pulled.
Rare for me to do it, and it felt real. And somebody, Ali in the comments said Gabriel Davis. It's a movement, I'm leading it.
Gabriel Davis. Stop it. Where does he belong?
Top 20 receiver in the NFL.
That.
No doubt. For the 2023 Super Bowl champion, Buffalo Bills.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
On Thursday, the Sacramento Metro Fire were called to a junkyard because of a car that kept catching on fire. Apparently, this is a problem with...
Wait a minute. It kept catching...
Kept catching on fire. And it has been catching on fire sporadically for 3 weeks. 3 weeks ago, somebody wrecked their Tesla. And when they responded to the original crash, the car was on fire. They put it out. It got towed to a junkyard. And for 3 weeks, it has been catching on fire over and over and over again. The vehicle was involved in a crash 3 weeks earlier, sustained major damage, and was parked in a wrecking yard for dismantling. Metro Fire said that the fire started in the battery compartment and that there did not seem to be an external ignition source. So within the battery of the Tesla, something keeps happening. Some explosion keeps happening that causes this thing to catch on fire. They have now tried to put out this car several times, and 3 times yesterday, apparently, on Thursday, 3 times they extinguished the fire, and the fire kept reigniting. So, how do you solve the problem? They had to dig a hole in the junkyard, fill it with water, and then put the car in the hole. That was the only way they were able to stop it from catching on fire over and over and over again.
So they put it out like a forest fire? They extinguished it like a campfire is what you're basically telling me.
Yeah. They had to submerge it in water to keep it from catching on fire. The Rockland Firefighters Facebook page, run by Rockland Firefighters Local 3847, shared Metro Fire's social media post on Sunday and commented, "The future is going to be quite tricky. If you keep having these problems with Teslas, then yeah, I could. Hopefully this is just a one-off thing, but I guess there are some costs to new technologies, and spontaneous combustion seems to be a problem with Teslas, or at least this one. Maybe this one's just, I don't know, possessed by the devil. I have no idea.
Your problem, or your story, was about a new problem. My story is about an old problem.
Okay.
People doing things they shouldn't on elevators. The Massachusetts Bay Transportation Authority hopes they have figured out a solution to a long-term problem. They serve Boston and the surrounding area, dealing with issues of transit issues. I did not know what I'm getting ready to say fell into that because, yes, it does technically move people, but it's not really transportation. Apparently, Boston has a very large problem of people piddling on elevators. So they are installing a pilot program this summer in which urine detection sensors will be placed in 4 downtown elevators.
Nice.
Basically, the way this thing works, there's a sensor on the ceiling of the elevator. It has an attached fan, which sucks in air and basically allows them to smell what is present on the elevator.
Okay. So they have a smell
detector.
If
they sense it, they will dispatch a cleaning crew and the elevator will be out of service until it is dealt with.
Oh, that's good.
Now, when I first read this story, I did not go all the way to the end. And my question was, is that really a big enough problem that we had to develop technology to beat it? Are there really a lot of people that look at an elevator and just go, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do number 1 in there. Then I reread the story and realized that MARTA, the transit system in Atlanta, they did this 10 years ago.
Really?
Apparently, it worked so well that now every bit of the MARTA has this sensor on it.
Oh, on the trains and everything.
It triggers strobe lights and alarms and shuts down parts of the transit.
So at least if you're going to pedal on the train, they're going to make sure that you get some on you.
And the only thing I could think about was that old thought that you could put a substance in a pool and it would turn piddle blue. And so if you did that in a pool,
right,
it would be like an ink pack if you robbed a bank.
Right.
I don't ever want to see people commit crimes. However, I would pay U.S. dollars for a video of somebody doing this, and then the strobe lights going crazy, and them just going, it wasn't me.
Right.
It was that guy.
It was that guy.
That guy did it.
Or would you give the Montrez Harrell response of, I only piddled a little bit. The rest of it, I didn't piddle enough for it to set off the sensor.
It's just this much.
Just a little bit.
It's just this much. It's unsettling when that's enough of a problem that somebody went, we're going to have to fix that.
That's good to know. So on the Massachusetts Bay Transit Authority system, they're going to have this for the elevators. They should probably have it for the rest of the city as well. I'm just saying.
Well, tell me about your city without telling me about your city.
Did you have you've been to Boston before. Did you have the same experience that I did? Like that whole place smells like pee. For some reason. I don't know what it is, especially like outside Fenway Park. You get that ammonia smell that's like, are we just doing this on the sidewalk?
So I've seen virtually every major city in this country. There's almost not a big media market that I've never been in.
Right.
Sports freak Mike Morgan just came back from New York. I cannot tell this story on this show. There's no way to censor it. But before he left, I told him of something that occurred to me or happened around me in New York City.
Mm-hmm.
Scar you for life. That's one of those happy hour stories that I cannot say the events. All right, I'll give you a little teaser on it. There was a nude person and a harmonica involved. That's the best I can give you.
Okay.
That's
That sounds like a special show that you would get at a gentleman's club.
It was a show, and it was not paid for, and it was not special by any stretch of the imagination.
I feel like we need to give some points here to Victor Shelton in the comments, who says the Rankin Street parking garage needs one of these. Yes,
I'm in favor of all the things. Anything that could potentially have this problem needs this device.
Huh. And Stephen Tao also commented on my story that says, Tesla batteries are vape batteries. They run in series, so that's a whole lot of opportunities for fires.
A lot.
Yikes. The wave of the future, they say. It'll be great. Technology's wonderful.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
You ever seen Terminator? That's what happens when you buy Teslas. Next week, we'll tell you where you should be buying your car.
Right.
And you don't have to worry about any of these things.
Kevin Vick says he imagines that Fenway smells wonderful. That is not the case.
It's not true.
It's
not even a little bit.
I mean, it's a wonderful place to be. If you're a lifelong Red Sox fan, it's the greatest place on earth to be to see baseball played in Fenway Park. But the closer you get to the stadium, the more it starts to smell of pee, and you go, ugh.
I'm going to be
what
really
are y'all doing.
I'm going to be really honest with you. As somebody that's seen a lot of landmarks in this here country, none of them smell like daffodils and rosebuds, just so you know.
Mm-hmm.
There's really not a major city. There's really not a landmark that you don't just go, ooh. Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Well, it's the, what do they call it? The tragedy of the commons. When you have so many people around public spaces, you try to limit the damage as best you can. Most underrated players in the NFL. Jeremy, when you asked me this question, my number one answer is Kirk Cousins.
And I don't hate that. I really don't.
Look, because there are so many people that talk about Kirk Cousins like he is the worst quarterback in the NFL.
He's not.
And he's not. He's good. He is a good quarterback. Now, does he win major games? Does he win playoff games and championships? No, he doesn't.
He's a victim of his record.
Right, but there's only a handful of guys that can do that.
I mean, the problem with Kirk Cousins, he's a victim of his record. He's won more than 10 games 0 times in his entire career.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a reason we don't use win-loss record as a quarterback stat.
Wait, even the year that they went to the NFC Championship game?
He was 10-5.
Wow, okay.
Now, he did miss 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
But he was 10-5.
Okay.
And that's to me. See, if for me, if I was going quarterback, it has to be Derek Carr.
Yes.
If I was going to pick any quarterback, like let's say I had gone through this and said, I'm going to pick a player at every position, I don't know how I would have said anybody other than Derek Carr.
Mm-hmm.
Because he is treated the same way as Kirk Cousins.
Yes.
And to me, there's a drastic difference between the two.
It took me a while to come around on Derek Carr, but I finally did. And I see them very much as the same player now.
That's a weird way of saying a year of browbeating from every Raiders fan we have that listens to this show and me.
What? They just weren't that good last year. You guys wouldn't listen.
They made the playoffs.
They did.
Just
End of
throwing that out
message. Is that what you're saying?
I was going to say it again, but since you did it, I didn't have to do it for the third time.
Hey, let's stick with the same team. Josh Jacobs. I feel like he's highly underrated.
Josh Jacobs is a guy that I'm just going to go ahead and tell you with fantasy football really starting in earnest next week for us.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say his name 9,068 times.
Yep. As you should.
Because I can't figure out what it is that people don't see in him. You have 3 elite weapons on your team. And I don't think anybody doesn't believe in the talent. They didn't believe in the, we'll say, opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
He's still going to run as the one.
Mm-hmm.
He's still a high-level running back in this league.
Everybody went crazy last year about Kenyon Drake. Oh, here comes the death of Josh Jacobs because Kenyon Drake's in town now. It's just not the case. Plus, plus, especially for this year, fantasy-wise, like he's playing for a contract.
Oh, yeah.
It's got all the makings of, hey, we have a no-doubt legit threat passing game. I mean, there's no way you can get around it now with Devontae Adams in town.
No doubt. I'll say the same thing about Josh Jacobs that I would have said about Kirk Cousins. If Kirk Cousins wasn't the first quarterback to get stupid guaranteed money, you would never slight him.
Agreed.
If Josh Jacobs hadn't gone in the first round, you would never slight him.
Agreed.
And there are just times that your situation merits that you're going to have to be better than you are.
Mm-hmm.
And people don't look at those things. They don't look at the fact that was not a great draft in that section. He was the best running back on the board, and the Raiders needed a running back.
Mm-hmm.
You're a first-round pick, and you're not Christian McCaffrey or a player like that. He's a phenomenal running back.
Yes.
Phenomenal running back.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to – I scoured. There were 3 names that stuck out to me. One's not – he's a household name, but plays a position that's Marcus Williams. New Ravens safety.
Yep.
When they signed him, my number one thought was, of course you did. Of course you did, because that's a player that the league does not respect in the way that they should. You got him on a deal. Of course you did, because that's just what you do.
Mm-hmm.
J.C. Jackson, corner for the Los Angeles Chargers, came from New England. I feel like he gets pigeonholed into, well, you played for Bill, of course you were good. I could give you 40 corners that completely spit in the face of that. He's a high-level, no doubt, number 1 corner in this league. And then there's one that we had a story about today. Dalton Schultz. So much shade thrown at the Cowboys between yesterday with the overrated and today with the Sean Payton certainly going to take that job. Dalton Schultz is an underrated guy. I think he's a no doubt top 5 tight end in this league. And to me, it's not even debatable.
Okay.
There is not a is that where you have him, or?
I haven't really thought about it, but probably, especially after last season.
Well,
I felt like he took a big step last year.
In my opinion, you go Kittle, Kelsey, Andrews, Pitts-ish. I don't always feel so great about calling him a tight end because he's really not. He's a wide receiver that on weekends plays tight end in a play.
Hawkinson.
I say I can't put Hawkinson ahead of him.
Really?
I get into a slew of guys that I just look and go, if you were on any other team, you would get the love.
Darren Waller.
He kind of falls in that Kyle Pitts thing. Yes, technically you play tight end, and you are a mismatch like a tight end, and I get it.
Mm-hmm.
That's not really the position you play because you couldn't block me. Mark Andrews, if he played for any other team, would be in the same boat, but he doesn't, and he's not. I kind of struggle with tight ends that don't play. To me, that's almost two different positions.
Okay.
We do that when we recruit these guys to college. You differentiate the kind of tight ends, and we stop doing that afterwards, and that's an error in judgment to me.
Yeah, I'll go. I'll agree with you on the top 5. I think he would be 5 because I can't have. I'm not going to have Dallas go dirt.
Dallas go Dirte?
And I can't really think of any others that deserve to be in that discussion.
In terms of all-around can do everything tight end, and I'm not sitting here telling you he's out of this world at everything, but he's treated like a disposable piece in this offense.
Mm-hmm.
I would argue he's the number 2 target in that offense. And I think you're going to see it this year a lot.
Yep. So it goes CeeDee Lamb, Dalton Schultz, then Michael
And then you
Gallup.
get into Gallup, which makes me feel a little better about that, to be honest with you.
And maybe Tony Pollard. Who knows? That's another one.
Most
underrated players in the NFL.
That was said a couple times across our social medias. If Zeke's the most overrated, then that kind of means Tony Pollard has to be the most underrated.
Mm-hmm.
Don't necessarily agree with the logic, but I can agree with the name.
Right. Well, underrated because he doesn't even get the chief playing time on his own team.
Yeah. I mean, and to me, it's not even close. I think he's the better of the two.
Mm-hmm.
Notice that we talked about almost exclusively offensive players there.
Yeah.
There are 2 defensive players that I know you and I agree on. And after the break, we'll talk about those 2 because they would be the end of my top 5.
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Interstates are moving well on the Captain Jeff Bowen Bridge. Traffic volume busy, especially on the westbound side. Smoky Park Highway, no delays. Patton Avenue, no problems. The New Leicester Highway, incident-free. Sweeten Creek Road southbound, approaching Mills Gap Road, a few light backups. Hendersonville Road, moving well. Charlotte Highway, no problems. Tunnel Road, incident-free. Checking the drive time from downtown Asheville to Asheville Regional Airport via 26 eastbound, drive time 19 minutes. I'm Lee Binfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Churches.
The smoke is back at Churches. Our $6 smokehouse chicken meal is a juicy half chicken served with mashed potatoes and a honey butter biscuit. All that for just $6, but not for long. Churches, welcome to the great state of flavor. Offer valid at participating locations.
Help the planet with a tip from iHeartRadio Earth. Spending time outdoors can improve overall health and wellness. Celebrate Earth Day and take advantage of nature's health benefits by visiting a local park. Recreate responsibly to protect yourself and others and to make the outdoors safe and welcoming for people of all identities and abilities. Brought to you by iHeartRadio Earth and the National Environmental Education Foundation. To find more tips for smarter, sustainable living or to take action in your own community, go to iHeartRadio.com/Earth.
COVID-19 moves fast, and now you can too. If you feel symptoms, even if they're mild, you should test fast. Test positive and at high risk for severe COVID-19? Then act fast with authorized oral treatments that can be taken at home and must be taken within 5 days from when symptoms begin. COVID-19 moves fast, and now you can too by asking your healthcare provider if an oral treatment is right for you. Learn about a treatment option at treatcv19.com. This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Thinking about gas mileage? Keep your engine at its best with clean oil from Pennzoil Platinum Full Synthetic. Got an older vehicle? Use Pennzoil Platinum Full Synthetic High Mileage. Right now, you can get 5 quarts of either with an STP Extended Life Oil Filter for $36.99. Get what you need for better fuel efficiency at any of our 6,000 stores or on AutoZone.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Loyalty restrictions apply.
This Father's Day, treat Dad to gifts he wants at Lowe's, like saving $60 on your choice of a DeWalt 20-volt Max Brushless Drill or Impact Driver Kit. Was $159, now $99. Lowe's, home to any budget, home to any possibility. While supplies last, valid 6/9 to 6/15.
And Doug. Chances are you're jamming in your car right now. And since Liberty Mutual customizes car insurance so you only pay for what you need, Limu and I are going to show you some safe car dance moves. Hit it. Everybody, check your blind spots real quick. Now hands on the wheel. Put them 10 in 2 and move your head like a bird do. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Do you know that
that Big Bargain detergent jug is 85% water, right?
85% water?
Yep. The leading bargain detergent is mostly water.
I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
Well, if you're looking for a better clean, Tide Pods are 88% concentrated ingredients.
Ooh, pass me the intercom thingy.
Attention shoppers. If you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Don't pay for water. Pay for clean. If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Pods.
Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I am Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
And welcome back into the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. Before we pay off the rest of the most underrated players in the NFL, one of the most underrated things, I guess, in my entire life was my health. I undersold how important my health was my entire adult life. I did not care. I threw caution to the wind, ate whatever I wanted to, and did not care how big I got. That leads to health problems. And thankfully, just before my 40th birthday coming up later on this summer, PhD Weight Loss is helping me shed the pounds. Since we've been on this program before Thanksgiving, I have lost over 70 pounds on this program. I am in the best shape that I've been in my adult life, and even, before I was an adult. Back early in high school, I have not weighed this little.
I forgot you were turning 40 later this year. That gives me a lot of platitude. I am only 35, but I am a 35-year-old man that can say I am at the same weight I was at when I graduated high school, in spite of the fact I've had lazy eating habits for most of my life, and that's thanks to the program, Food and People, of PhD Weight Loss.
I now weigh under 225 pounds, and PhD is helping me do it with proper nutrition. And look, you don't have to join a gym to lose weight on this program. You just got to follow their plan. They give you 80% of the food that you need to have success, and you can find out all about it at myphdweightloss.com. PhD Weight Loss, the official weight loss program of the Clemson Tigers and their fans. The most underrated players in the NFL, we talked a lot about offensive players, and yes, Jeremy, you and I do agree on two defensive players who stand out among all others as being underrated in this league.
Jesse Bates is one of them. And now I feel like after the Super Bowl year, he's almost gotten enough flowers that he doesn't qualify.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not sure that people have even gotten to the point they should. So Jesse Bates is obviously one. The other's DeMario Davis.
Mm-hmm.
He came from my Jets. I watched us do this 2 separate times. We drafted him, let him go, traded for him, and then let him go again.
Yep.
And I'll never understand it. I get that he plays a non-high premium position. It doesn't matter. He's the leader of that defense. It is abundantly clear every time he's not on the field.
Mm-hmm.
And he's one of my favorite players in this league. If I had to give flowers to one more because, well, maybe Jesse Bates doesn't qualify, James Bradbury.
Okay.
James Bradbury makes no sense to me. He's had one bad year in his career, and it was while he was playing in a system that didn't fit him the least.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I think Philadelphia killed it picking him up, and I think he will be a great addition to that secondary. It's one of the reasons I'm so high on Philadelphia.
Yep. Also, another reason that I am much higher on the Las Vegas Raiders than I was last year is because their addition of Chandler Jones. I feel like Chandler Jones is underrated. When you talk about the best edge rushers in the league, how far do you get on that list before somebody's going to say Chandler Jones? And I think it's probably too far.
If we were doing a legacy, most criminally underrated for their career, it would be Chandler Jones and Calais Campbell.
Yes. I have to agree with you on that as well. DeForest Buckner.
DeForest Buckner's the one that makes me mad. To me, he is very close to Aaron Donald level impactful and just gets slept on.
I saw where somebody in the comments earlier did mention J.C. Jackson as well. I feel like he's underrated. Although after the free agency contract that he
I
just
said
got.
him in the last segment.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I still think he's underrated. I don't care how much money he makes. He is elite.
Yep. You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. It's been a fun ride on this Tuesday. We'll be back with you tomorrow at 3 o'clock, where we'll think of something.
Oh, it'll be a wacky Wednesday. I'm sure the rabbit hole will happen. The weird news will happen. All of the things
we got to have your official picks ahead of the start of the U.S. Open on Thursday. We got to do that before everything tees off Thursday morning.
And
so
I've got a few. I just so happen to know this golf course reasonably well, so I feel pretty strong about the U.S. Open.
Playing at the country club, how many times will the LIV, the Live Tour 54, be mentioned during the broadcast? I wonder if that's a prop that you can get.
I'm sure
somewhere.
you can get it somewhere, and it's anything under 140, you should take it.
That's just on the first day, my friend. Back here tomorrow at 3, not only here in the Ingles Studio, but also on the YouTube stream, thesportsocracy.com.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Another very hot and humid day for us on Wednesday. Chance for a few showers and storms here tonight, otherwise partly cloudy skies near 70. Mix of clouds and sunshine Wednesday, very hot and humid with a chance of afternoon and evening storms. Any storm that we do see would have a chance for strong winds and heavy downpours. Record high temperatures expected Wednesday afternoon with highs in the low 90s. Afternoon storms, upper 80s Thursday. I'm meteorologist Ken Boone at the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. Second half of the year looking busier than the first? Hire with Indeed. Their powerful platform makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates in one place. Sponsor a job and immediately get a short list of quality candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Interstates are moving well on the Captain Jeff Bowen Bridge. Traffic volume busy, especially on the westbound side. Smoky Park Highway, no delays. Patton Avenue, no problems. And New Leicester Highway, incident-free. Sweeten Creek Road southbound, approaching Mills Gap Road, a few light backups. Hendersonville Road, moving well. Charlotte Highway, no problems. Tunnel Road, incident-free. Checking the drive time from downtown Asheville to Asheville Regional Airport via 26 eastbound, drive time 19 minutes. I'm Lee Binfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. The toasted cheddar chalupa is back in town. And by in town, that means at Taco Bell. So if crispy bites of cheddar cheese toasted onto a flaky shell sounds delicious to you, get yourself a toasted cheddar chalupa at participating Taco Bell locations for a limited time only.
I think it's just vapor. Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
One vape pod has as much nicotine as one pack of cigarettes. Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.